Steel and Stormbright, The Curse of the Star Wraiths, an exciting sword and sorcery adventure about two brothers trying to make their way in a harsh world. Link in the description. Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios. See, weekly wing it number 82 here on Rumble and YouTube. And starting things off with us tonight is Frederick.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm coming in from Quebec, where it is unusually humid for the summer, I'd say. How you doing?
I'm also dealing with some humidity. How about you, Readout?
Hi, I'm Readout, and I am so effing tired of this heat.
But do hedges grow well in the heat?
Some
Herman?
things are not meant to be answered.
Some cues are meant to be ignored.
Are hedges supposed to talk back, or are hedges kind of silent?
I don't know. I thought he was kind of like, this hedge was kind of like the trash heap in Fraggle Rock, gives great sage advice and everything.
Kind of looks like Grouch from Sesame Street, to be honest.
No. Oscar just looks like a giant nug of weed. I know it's true. I saw it on Facebook once years ago.
He does.
So King Bob's like, oh, the show started? I guess nobody told me. Dang it.
We're always on anyway, so might as well.
Where's Billy Bob? That was
I have no idea.
Billy Bob, where are you? He's not online, apparently. So
Hope he's all right. But in his absence, we could let everyone know that we're thinking about him by doing this. There, we've summoned Billy Bobsack, but somehow ended up with Stormcrow. What's up, man?
Oh,
cross the wires.
it has been.
Oh, play the intro again. We'll just like do a splice right over. I'll go in and on my Sharpie, I'll scratch in a crow instead of Spiley.
It has been a while, guys. I'm sorry. Life has gone in the way, but I'm happy to be back. And the circumstances, I say, could not be any more exciting. Isn't that right, Rita? You know the one I'm talking about.
Honestly, I don't talk about the sequels of Twister being a very exciting thing.
Yes.
Is that seriously what you're talking about, Crow?
Yeah, Twisters. That's absolutely what I'm talking about. Definitely nothing happening on Saturday. Definitely not.
Oh, yes.
Nothing in no way happened within an hour's a half drive from my house.
It was Saturday the 13th.
That was
But to me,
insane, is what
Tuesday.
it was.
You were close, Rita? Were you on location, or?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Everybody's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what's going on?" Well, you're in the Pittsburgh area, and I'm like, "Look, like any city, the Pittsburgh area is a massive swath of land, so they're going to be more specific." And I'm like, "Oh,
Huge tracts of land.
yeah."
Oh my goodness. Before we get into anything, how are you guys doing? It's been a while since I've been here.
It has."
Yes.
Now let's see what avatar you're sporting this time here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Is Samurai Crow?
No, that's King Crow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you got a stylish crown there that's kind of like illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And wielding a sword as well, mind you.
And we have an RH Snow in the audience.
Welcome, RH. How is it going?
The Queen
Welcome to
has
our
decided to
club.
grace
Welcome
this.
to our club.
The queen and the king are here because
Yeah.
King Bob is also with us.
King Bob!
Now we just need the Lord Otter to show up, and we got the whole royal set.
Yes.
We can't have all the royalty in one place. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, who's the designated survivor?
Well, if you see the tagline
Not me.
of my
Not it,
profile
not it.
there-
I hope you all have
It's in-
clones.
If you see the tagline of my profile there, it says, "You come with the king, you best not miss."
Oh, yeah.
So, anyone wants to take a shot at me, you better not miss.
All right, Snow says, I am so sick, and this is what you give me. Monty Python quotes. I approve. Dying of the plague? I hope not. We would like you to be around for a good long time. In fact, we want you to outlive us.
Speaking of Monty Python, Terry Gilliam, did you see they remade Time Bandits and the trailer came out this week?
No, I haven't.
You know what? You guys familiar with
The
Time-
arcade game Time Bandits?
No, it's an old movie about midgets that come out of a like closet, and basically they travel through time. And it's an old Terry Gilliam movie that's quite wacky as they tend to be.
This sounds like something that would not be able to be applied in the 21st century.
Oh, you're so right. And they made the kind of
Well-
a Snow White remake, so they got rid of all the midgets because now you can't have midgets in movies.
Well, no. Read out. You're very wrong about that. Because there is a way to make a movie like that. Ain't that right, Wrangler? You
Yeah, but if
gotta-
we can't have midgets in movies, then we can have Majis on YouTube. How's it going, Maji?
Hello. Sorry I'm late. Just got home from work.
Margie.
Congratulations on your escape.
I know, right?
It has been a while, hasn't it, there, darling?
It has, Crow.
How
You
You
has
know,
life?
somebody in the community should make like an 8-bit game, a short game of Maji escaping work. Be a
Would
side
just be
scroller.
Mad Dash Crosswood Jump King.
We'll call it
We're gonna make it
Frogger.
like Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde.
No, we'll call it Frogger.
I used to love Frogger.
Oh, hello, beautiful woman. Most beautiful. I actually made it on time. I didn't think I'd make it at all, but luckily the nice, awesome fire command of the island happened to drive by and let me ride in his truck.
Sweet.
Whoa.
That's kind of cool.
Hey, are you getting humidity out there too, or are you
Oh,
spared from that?
I have those damp absorbers that absorbs dampness in the air and collects water. I changed mine out 2 days ago, and it's already a third of the way full. I should take a picture.
Is it a
It's
dehumidifier?
very humid. Yeah, it basically you're supposed to put them in like storage units, garages, whatnot, and they'll absorb the water for about a month. But
Who-
it's
who did
so
we just
humid
lose?
here that. Uh-oh, who did we lose?
Readout.
Oh, he'll be back.
He always
What?
come back.
But it's just been so humid that they're just filling up like crazy. I
That's
do
good.
recommend them though. The
That's
Dampex
good,
and the
yeah.
Arm & Hammer, both their water absorbers work really great.
Well, Maji, I'm just happy to know you're imbibing that Fremen Arrakis vibes there, you know? You're going to make a great Fremen woman someday in the future. Because,
Why do you say that?
Because you're very.
well, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news, but there's some spicy things going on in the world right now. And there's some exciting times in the now. Ain't that right, Rita?
Like
Oh, no,
Tenacious D
no.
having a full-blown meltdown on stage. That's what I've heard, at least.
No, the more important thing is Snow has laryngitis. Who cares about Tenacious D?
Ooh, that sucks.
Wait, what's that? What's that?
I care about our queen.
No, what's that? What does she have?
Laryngitis. Lost her
Well,
voice.
according to hers, it's laryngitis. Tis.
Well, it's a severe case, but she's still very famous.
She is very
Like-
famous.
Like famouser than all of us put together. That's how famous she is.
So, how much laryngitis can you tolerate before losing any fame?
With her,
Is a question.
she's
Her
like
fame is laryngitis proof.
she is like the battleship of fame. Okay. It's one of the biggest battleships out there. It's a very big battleship, excellent battleship. No, you.
I got one for you. Okay, so you've heard of plot armor, right?
Yes.
Well,
she has
one of my-
China.
No, even better. One of my characters, Lily, which is Hunter's wife, has snow armor. It's like completely impenetrable, and I fear if I do anything to Lily, I'm gonna get it. Snow. She likes Lily.
So her armor is being a literal special snowflake then.
Yes, I dare not mess with the snow armor.
I mean, you bring up a good issue there, right? Like, do you guys prefer stories like a la Game of Thrones, where like one person dies every once in a while, where you really feel the stakes of the story, or do you like more peaceful like stories where you can rely on the characters being there and following their progress for a long
I
time?
do a bit of both.
Yeah, there is something to be said for a little bit in between. I'll use Star Trek as an example. Like one of the bridge crew at every couple seasons, somebody from the bridge crew seems to actually get killed off. Like what was I won't blank on her name. She was I think she
Talking
was
about Tara?
security. Yes, Tasha Yar. Yeah,
Or Tasha, yeah.
and granted that I don't think that was originally the plan to kill her off, but you know, shows like that where you could pretty much count on all of them to make it to the end, but every once in a while they surprise you and one goes down.
I'm more of a middleman with that. Like, if I stick around with the characters long enough and I care about them, sure, I'll watch like maybe 4 seasons, but I better see a character death, like a pretty big one, you know. Like, even Lord Rings, Boromir died. We all thought he was going to make it to the end with a redemption, but no, he died. Pretty sad, Racist
Well,
takes.
So, okay, King Bob and I did
King
a lot
Bob!
of brainstorming for the first rough draft. Poor Bob. He got the short end of the stick when it came to my ideas. But what he knows that I do is sometimes when I'm making a battle scene, like I know I need it to be an intense battle scene. He knows I pull out the D&D dice and see how severe it's gonna be.
Ooh, I like that. Like,
Ooh.
not
So
not
then that
necessarily
way-
making it up. Yeah.
Exactly. So some things are supposed to happen, like in the little line, like, okay, this person here, this person here. But in terms of how bad it is, how graphic, I let the D&D rules take over. If it's below 5, then it's a scratch. If it's above, if it's like a critical hit, I mean not above 5. Sorry, I was thinking of the D10, not the D20. But that's what I would do. Actually, I think it was a D5 and a D8 that we rolled. Was it, Bob? He doesn't. He's
That
not.
sounds right. I don't
Yeah,
remember
he
exactly
made
what
fun of
dice
me
it
for
was.
using dice.
I did do that. That's true.
Probably tends to make your writing less predictable that way.
It does.
I'm weird.
But
I prefer to use Call of Cthulhu dice set. Anyone knows about that one? The D100?
No.
I don't know. I just used the free dice app on the phone that
Don't
didn't spy on me.
the 100 dice like take forever to like settle on a number?
Not necessarily. It's more like the lowest number means like a critical success, and the highest number means complete failure.
Oh yeah.
It's really
So,
good
yeah.
for like Manji said.
Oh, typically I start off already with an idea of how I want the outcome of a scenario to be, and I just kind of figure out how I'm getting there while writing it. It's like, and more often than not, it's like, okay, I know someone's going to be injured to this degree. How is it going to happen before the scene's over? This more figuring that out. But sounds like you actually leave a little more to fate with the dice rolls there.
I figured the battles sound a little bit more realistic that way. I mean, like I said, there are certain points I need to happen. So, like, I need this person to be in this particular spot for the next event to happen. But in terms of writing the fight scene, it made it a lot more fun to write because it was an adventure for me as well as the reader.
Actually, in the manuscript, you can see in parentheses where it says rolls dice.
What, you don't like that idea, Herman?
That might be lit RPG. I don't know.
But
No,
Margie, let me
it's
ask you
perfectly
this.
valid if it leads you to the proper if it leads you to the proper thoughts you need to put on the paper, then hell yeah, go for it. I'm not gonna knock it.
I've ended up rewriting my fight scenes like 3 or 4 times because I'm never happy with them. So
Yeah, that's part of it. I got so sick and tired of like, all right, this is a tango, this is a dance. Well, I mean, which is fight scenes? Fight scenes are basically coordinated chaos. But at the same time, adding a little bit of randomization in determining, okay, so if this character gets hurt, how bad? It makes it more fun because you don't even know until you start rating it, and you're like, oh, fetch. That's
Oh,
not
yeah,
good. Great, let's make it work.
it sounds completely valid to me. It's just we have different writing styles. If you have a certain idea, like the scene needs to end in this place definitively, then sometimes you like certain things you can't put the chance. But if you got some leeway, and it sounds like a great way to get the imagination going.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it sounds to me it's not all about the end outcome as much as the blow by blow, like getting there.
And even then, so say like I don't want to give any spoilers. Let me know if I'm spoiling, Bob. So one of the outcomes, one of the main characters is fighting, and I rolled technically he got a nat 1, but I needed him to live. It doesn't mean he made it out without a scratch.
So you rolled a 1 and you cut off his eyeball?
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Hey, I guessed it. Woo! I can read your mind, Maji. Be careful there. Don't mess with me now.
Yeah,
Please say
but
something.
can you read in French? See, it's not going to work with me, Stormcrow.
The problem is that French isn't a real language, and considering how France is right now, it's not going to be a real country anymore. So,
Well, technically, you speak Quebec French, right?
Yeah, so it's kind
Yeah,
of the same
You're
difference
your own
between
dialect.
yeah, kind of like Americans and the British. Like you don't
It's
speak
not
the
French.
same English.
Yeah, it's Quebecois. Completely
correct.
different.
Yeah, 100%.
look, you say that, but everyone knows there's only a real language that's worth a damn these days, and it's called American English, okay?
How about Creole?
Creole is
fuck
its own language.
When you
Isn't
mix
wasn't it a
Spanish and
version
you
of
throw some
French?
English in there, and I'm sure you're getting language brought up over from Africa, and you get a mess, a beautiful, beautiful mess.
Oui, c'est vrai.
MD's in the chat? And it looks like I'm guessing that's French that he wrote.
Yes.
And Rondo, Anthony Rondinelli.
Get in
Absolutely,
here,
you may
boy.
join.
Get in
Yeah,
here,
let me
boy.
Get you. Let me make
Not to
sure.
mention- Not to mention all the indigenous languages and Creole as well. It's all there.
Raylan, do you have any idea how much fun I've had with this guy for the past months since we've been deprived of gaming sessions? We've helped keep each other sane during these crazy times. It's been great. He can tell you all about it. All the fun stuff we did together.
Stop doom scrolling. I'm shouting at somebody in the chat. He know who he is.
I didn't doing nothing, so shut up.
Yeah.
Where's Billy Snow? Well, Billy's that's a very good question. Where is Billy?
Yeah, where is Bill?
I tried to summon him by playing his intro, but he didn't show.
Yeah, I
But
came in.
but when the intro ended, Stormcrow was here. So
I will not say that I had.
I would actually like to
deal
hear
with Billy
Buncher's
Bobster.
take on using dice for battle scenes. I'll have to poke his brain later.
What's left of it? He forgot it was Monday.
I didn't.
Look,
but
I
that's
think
just my vacation started. Sorry.
Look. the days bleed into the weeks, and the weeks bleed into the months in this heat. It's understandable.
Christy has joined us as well.
Welcome.
And hopefully we'll be seeing Rondo pop up on panel in a moment. Oh, there he
Come
is.
on
What's up,
down.
man?
They'll let anybody in here.
Hey,
Are we
Yeah,
at
you-
max?
Hey.
Look, I'm here. What do you expect?
No, I think we got 2 more left.
Hey,
Yeah, we got a total of 10.
Okay.
Ron Dominium, how are you doing tonight, there, son?
I've had heck of time recently. Today, I just had 3 interviews back to back, and these are probably the biggest interviews of my life.
Woo! Which
You
one?
kind of breathing a sigh of relief now that it's done? Or?
There is one tomorrow, but I have suspicions that it is not going to be a traditional interview.
We talking job interview or book interview?
Oh, job interview.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had a book, but no.
What kind of sector are you in if it's not too personal?
The data industry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then my Twitter feed is filled with politics. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to get these. I've been trying to get
MD, I
Reed on
sent you
here
a
to
link.
tell me the historical significance of what happened, but he's too shy. Okay, like he doesn't want to talk about the historical moments of America, and I find that quite a.
No, when you go into that topic, I'll let Readout take the lead on that because he's the historian. But for the most part, I avoid politics. But if you really want me to address it,
I'm a historian of the 18th and
I
19th
came here
century.
to avoid it, and I just dropped something.
Sometimes the 20th.
Hey, I'm half historian.
Rondo's already dropping the mic.
Well, you're actually a king, so whatever you say, Bob, I guess is the spoken truth, is it
That's
not?
right. So
I am-
let it be done.
I am history.
I think Readout has Readout has
Readout.
authority.
Read it. I lived it.
You may be a king, Bob, but I am the
No.
storm, and the storm devours the king.
Oh, shut up.
You
No,
shut up.
they have.
No,
they have
you
storm-
shut up.
They have storm
Both
drains.
of you shut up.
Storm.
Oh, the hedge is quivering. We better be quiet, guys.
In a second.
Or what? Or what? What's he gonna do? I'm the storm. I take away hedges. I blow them away to the night sky, never to be seen again.
Uh-oh.
here we go.
Peterson
Power.
came out. We're in trouble.
Look at it. Look at here. Buck.
yeah,
You may think you're a storm, but you're not really a storm. It's you're more even a storm has to clean up its room. So you just clean up your room. Stop storming around, Bucko.
See, he told you. He told you there.
It's been scientifically proven that storms are not actually storms. They're just they're just sort of like misunderstood sprinkles that get out of hand. It's very it's many studies been done on that.
Okay, old man.
Peterson. What is your response to this? Because I told my boss to quit feeding the unicorn beans.
Well, unicorns historically I've been have had really good flatulence. There's still many studies out there that have yet to be completed on the benefits of unicorn mythical flatulence.
Cahoon has got
Around
a
workplaces.
video he says we should take a look at somewhere on Twitter.
Kahuna.
Kahuna!
Young man, put on your pants.
Why?
Let's hope he's just wearing something.
He could be in the shower for all we know.
Right?
Well, look, if we're not going to talk about politics, even though that's really interesting right now, but whatever. Any good books or movies coming out? Because I'm pretty sure
Mine.
nothing good came out.
Well, one already
Yes.
came out. Herman's book already came out.
Well, I got
Yeah,
another one coming
Herman's
out.
book.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
one
it's-
came out and one's coming out.
And this is this 2 of 3 or is this a conclusion?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
This is second of 2.
Okay, so it is a
Matter
2.
of fact, I'm trying to figure out my numbers for a.
I didn't know if there's third to this or if this was a.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my numbers for a Kickstarter. So
Mm.
I may end up doing this as a Kickstarter.
Nice.
Have you done any in the past?
No, and that's what I'm scared about doing.
Oh, I hear you, man. I've got to start my own as well this month, so a lot of questions.
Are you going through Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Fund My Comic?
Kickstarter, because it looks like they are the big kahunas of the book of the book.
That guy's the big kahuna.
He's not really that big, and especially when he broadcasts from his shower, he looks actually quite small. I think it's just the cold water, though. But yes,
water.
I did not expect that.
always expect the unexpected when I'm on. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out numbers and costs and all of that, and what I can put in, and I'm trying to figure out whether I want to do the audio book with it, which means I have to do this. I'm thinking about using BookFunnel, and they have an audiobook distribution mechanism, but it costs an additional $100, and or just the ebook and the paperback. So I haven't figured that one out yet. I might just have the audiobook added on as a audiobook put on as an add-on. I'm not sure.
Got Steve Fortune again?
Hopefully. I talked to him. He said he'd be up for it, but
Hey, AC.
I still got to get editing done. I got to get a cover done.
Hey.
All that stuff costs money. So
Hey, see, my dude, it's been a while. I haven't been on the streams either, but I miss having you on.
Yes.
Hey,
More than we want to
dude,
admit.
It's been a while.
Vasislos on Fry.
I haven't been on the streams either, but I miss having you on.
Yes.
Hey,
More than we want to admit.
What is going on?
Wow, I think we're stuck in an infinite loop.
what happened?
Sorry about that.
We have to go back in time.
Control X, Control
Oh,
C.
no.
Oh no, my
It's your
Toggle
kids,
shot
Marty.
DeLorean.
well, this is pretty common when you get into these these sort of like time travel paradoxes. There's a lot of psychological evidence that it causes confusion.
It's called jet lag.
No, I'm gonna be filling that Friday.
Well, where are you going to?
Oh, it's only a 2-hour time zone. Come on, Shift. Come on.
To the middle
It's
of
only a
nowhere.
2-hour time zone, but a 6-hour flight.
That's going to suck. But just remember, me and Bambo are driving 8 hours each day.
Ugh.
Bless you.
I don't mind it so much, except of the stretch through Illinois, because Illinois is a carbuncle on the ass of the United States.
No, that would be Nevada.
I was going to say New Jersey.
No, that's
That's
that's an impacted pilear. What the heck are those called? Yeah, pilear cysts. That's
Pollen idol. I had one of those.
What a fascinating description of New Jersey. I will
Took
probably use that going
3
forward.
years to heal.
Mhm.
And here I was just going to call it the shrinkter, but
AMD Bouncer.
How
It's
do?
been a while.
Yeah, I've been hiding
What?
well.
Well, thank God you came out of hang today.
Why
Some
is that?
spicy stuff's been going down as of 2 days ago. But these guys don't want to talk about it because it's
No.
impolite.
Are you
Stop.
talking about Trump falling down?
Yeah.
Because
Hearing a
No, no, no.
I
noise.
scared him.
Biden falls up. Trump just trumps. He's
Trump
weird.
rises again like a
Trump
phoenix on fire.
Yeah.
China.
They should make a trading card with his fist raised. Call it Trump card.
Yeah.
He did do those as NFTs.
Yeah, the Miss
Oh,
Me
are they
Bitch
lame?
has been the killer memes lately.
That is the only thing I care about. What's the memes? You know, the minute I saw that photo, I was like, "Oh my god, this is perfect."
But you cannot
People
deny
gotta get
that
this
is
on
the
a
most
t-shirt.
awesome photo of our era.
Best political photo in the last 100 years.
What could be
Yeah.
worse than a mugshot? I know. Let's give them a bleeding ear with his fist pump in front of the American flag.
America, fuck yeah!
Well, technically, America was founded on rebellion. Why not?
This is President Camacho level here.
So
Yeah.
apparently, like,
However,
I mean, we are an idiocracy, so
however, MD,
Yo,
Maji was curious as to your take for dice rolls to determine a battle while in writing. What do you think of that?
I would never trust dice rolls for a battle. I would only do it. I would basically, I would take from a game quite easily and use that, but I wouldn't trust even my chaotic.
No, I'm
level
thinking
of
about the
plotting.
DC.
Animation Overload. Good to see you, man.
You're better off just role playing it out with somebody else. And if you want to do the dice rolls, then do it all the scene first, and then you can tune it later on. Because Lord knows I've had enough games recently where basically everything turns to boom boom because the dice rollers suddenly go, guess what? I'm in the mood for ones. And you turns out a string of like 3 to 5 ones in a row across the party. At the same time, it's like,
Wow.
no, the GM needs to roll a few 20s.
Uh,
I'm not going
Well, hold on, Bouncer. Rondo here can attest that I only get nothing but natural 20s. Ain't that right, Rondo? Tell me I'm lying.
You lying?
Well, it's not entirely a lie.
Now tell him how many times I got a nat 20 on one session. Go.
Oh,
They come in bunches.
yeah. I think like 3 times.
In a row.
I believe it.
And he got so pissed off. It's like, what the fuck are wrong with your dice?
Okay, so for all the multiple people here, how do you guys approach fight scenes then?
Well, what do you mean by
They fight
approaching
and the story. No.
I run away.
Well, I usually, like I said before, I usually start with thinking, where do I want this to end up? What do I want conveyed during it? And is there anything of significance that needs to happen during this interaction? Those are the things I think about first. And then I start thinking about how they swing their fists. But
Fight choreography is one of the most elusive.
we got room for one more, Kahuna.
It's how to explain it. Fight choreography is super important to get right because you're always going to have that 1 or 2 people in your audience that are going to want to know exactly this, that, and the other thing. And so you got to have just enough detail in there to make them satisfied. I mean, it's sort of like writing an action scene and getting your gun porn just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to have a fully automatic revolver going in that. I mean, just come on. I'm not the ATF here. I can't say for sure, but you want to get basically appease the fans that way. And there are martial art fetishists out there that would want to see the blow by blow. So
Yeah.
when I go into these things, I'm always kind of trying to visualize it as a martial arts film or an action film where I'm trying to lay it out step by step. I mean, the only things that are kind of determined in my head are basically who the combatants are and then who's supposed to win. Case in point, I literally had a situation. I'm writing a short story for an anthology called Magi Noir, and I have a climactic scene where my hero has to fight or get away from or defeat a hitman that's coming for him on a bus. And you know what he has for a weapon? A cat carrier with a cat. The other guy has a gun, and he's on a city bus, and a lot of chaos goes on. And I had to sit there and do the fight choreography for that and consider, okay, he does X. That means this will cause this reaction, and this guy will fall over, and then this will trigger. And then I try to think of the surroundings. What does that trigger? And I basically have to flowchart myself through a fight scene. Now, the good news is many have told me I do very good fight scenes that way, though I have been accused of calling them like a hockey game. And I'm like, okay, what's
it's tough to figure out that line. At what point are you giving them blow for blow, and at what point are you saying their fist move with fury or whatever, and just pretty much just your verbal fight cloud,
Yeah, exactly. You gotta watch out for that Beetle Bailey fight scene where all you see is a cloud and a fist here and a foot there.
But I tried to put that in at one point, I think, where just dust kicked up and it looked like a fight, the handicap Beetle Bailey fight cloud.
Yep. I mean, I have one in my upcoming Akinawazi saga sequel, the fourth book in it. I have a fight where the two characters are literally doing the comic book soliloquy. They're talking with each other because he's using the fight not only as the physical fight as a metaphor for what's going on between the two, as one is interrogating the other through punches and kicks. They'll throw a few kicks, a little flurry, and then step back and talk at each other, and accusations made, and then more kicks and whatnot, and then grappling. I would highly recommend picking up Fight Right by Carla Hoke. I really, really, really recommend that one, especially if you don't know much for fighting. But I would not trust rolling dice unless all you're doing is copying something that went down during an RPG. Then, guess what? The dice take you where the dice take you, because you're not necessarily trying to get to a pre-described outcome. So I wouldn't to make your decisions at this time.
Kahuna says, it's like the fight was legendary. Will you describe it? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Then the writer needs to be punched in the kidney.
For my money,
it's the writer's job to write the scene.
Oh, yeah.
For my money, as much as we like to dunk on George R. R. Martin because he deserves it, his fight scenes are probably my favorite things about his book series. That I just have to be straight about that.
I like another George Lucas, who in his scripts would just say, "They fight."
Oh, dear Lord. All I can say is I just recently heard this criticism about the first trilogy and the first book, or the first movie out of it, Phantom Menace, and said the one thing that you can walk away with and not really debate much about it is that the lightsaber fights were probably some of the best, if not the best, in the entire series.
Bite thy tongue, sir. Have you not seen the glory of the Acolytes? Have you not seen the glory of the Acolyte? And don't see your fight scenes?
Where's the strangle your dumbass port on the computer? I will not give that even the time of day.
That's what happens when you get Ray Park, man. Ray Park is awesome.
Stormcrow, I told you, if you watch the Acolyte, you're going to get brain damage. And look where we are now.
I won't even watch the commentary.
I haven't played this in a couple of weeks, so let's watch him get blown up again.
Yay!
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. To the power of many, to the power of
I don't.
The power of Samus, bitches.
If only Disney would have ended the Acolyte.
I think I need to go through.
Have you not seen that, Crow?
I've seen that clip of the Acolyte.
I love it. I love it. That is an 11 out of 10. That is the greatest thing that has been made in the past 10 years.
It's so beautiful, man. Godfather? Get the hell out of here with that.
Crow, I'm surprised you hadn't seen that already.
I've only seen like the lightsaber fights. I didn't see that. That's insane.
That sucked ass so hard it caused the person to bite their lips. Just was trouble.
Well, bro, they are lesbian witches, so that's
Yeah, I
pretty
know.
fucked, of course.
Do you know what the bummer is? You hear lesbian witches, and it makes it sound a whole lot cooler than it really is.
That's true.
Then you see it, and you're like, oh.
Like, okay, like the statement lesbian space witches should be like, okay, my interest is piqued. But they ruined it. Like, how does an actual lesbian ruin this? Like,
This isn't the pitch for a story. This is their only defining features.
The
This
thing
is
is,
it. This is all the more we can afford to describe them as.
These guys are practically having. I want to be in chat instead of on panel. They're having a full blown picnic down there with Italian ice and watermelons and watermelon coolers and
Nice.
I got some ice.
Ice is nice.
There's no ice. Ice is a myth.
Global warming, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like cake.
You can
Because
only
cake is a lot.
see ice in a museum. I'm gonna have to use that in a book or a short story somewhere. You can only see ice in a museum.
oh, bummer, Maji. Thanks for hanging out while you could.
Oh,
Quite frankly, I wasn't sure I'd be able to be on tonight. My internet's been getting funkier and funkier.
Not suspicious at all. Everybody's having internet problems this weekend. Nope. Don't give in to the intrusive thoughts, Readout.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Read out. You're gonna curse me.
Yes, RH. That was actually in the show. Full disclosure, no, I haven't seen the show, but that clip is easy enough to find, and
Like episode
I
two.
was working on some Metroid stuff, and I saw that, and I'm like, I need to have Samus blow these bitches up. So I did.
Yeah. All I can say, yeah, RH, yeah, that is from the show. It's one of the few clips I've actually seen. And all I can say is that ain't Star Wars. I don't know what that is, but it is daft. Dumb AF.
Now, my folks took me to see, I think Empire Strikes Back in the theater at the Windsor Plaza for like 99 cents when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And dang it, my mind just blanked out on where I was going with this. Sorry about that.
I remember having the.
Oh yeah, and I showed that clip to my folks the other day, and they're like, "This is Star Wars."
Best if you don't know. You're best if you don't know of anything that's done after the original 6.
You know what? I'm going to ask you this right now. If Palpatine sent Anakin to kill these guys instead of the younglings, will we consider Darth Vader a bad guy?
The fact that he offs little kids, yes.
But
Animation
if he
Overload said, "Never in my life have I heard the phrase lesbian witches and been completely disinterested."
That's the power of Disney. We'll make you so disinterested in anything and everything. We will suck the life and the color out of all of your favorite brands.
This is why you don't hire ESG hires. They can't tell stories. They can't do their job. They're not competent at anything but whining. And they will ruin your company by basically producing garbage that no one would buy at gunpoint, let alone
Power
accept
of
for free.
one, the power of two, the corruption of Mickey.
You guys, when is the money going to run out?
BlackRock is sitting on several. $7 trillion. It's
Yeah,
not running
but-
out anytime soon. All you can do is turn them off and ignore them.
I agree with you, but it's like at some point they're gonna have to like conquer a country and utilize the resources in order to start making these things, right?
Actually, the only thing that's going to change BlackRock's attitude is the removal of money from retirement funds. Specifically, they've already had it happen by several states in the union who have pulled their funds. West Virginia being one of them, Texas being another, and that made them sit up and take notice. But also, what's going to have to happen is a boardroom rebellion. The stockholders are going to have to do a flat-out rebellion and say, "Hey, dumbasses, our retirement funds are shrinking because you're playing politics and cultural games that we don't agree with anyway. We're taking our money away from you. You can't manage it anymore." That's the only thing that's going to stop this. Outside of flat-out asset seizure by the government, which is
And
still
you will hear
Well,
nothing but
that's a
stories
far
on the
more-
news.
Huh?
You will hear nothing but stories on the news about mysterious suicides and mysterious accident of these board members that pulled money from BlackRock. Investigation is still underway.
Probably
Here,
isn't
my
built by
whole
the
plan to
like-
stop it was to do the ghost thing, sit out underneath their bedroom window and sing "I am Henry the Eighth, I am" until they get annoyed and stop doing all the ESG stuff.
I think I wanted just like a message to like do something to politicians you don't like, to make them do the things you want them to do. Rita, help me out here. What is that called? It's a political something. Political
Blackmail?
Nah,
I think it starts with an
blackmail?
A. There may be a G, E, N, D, and ends with another A.
agenda. What?
No.
Albatross? A political albatross.
Political.
Are you talking about a political third rail?
Albatross!
I have no idea what's happening now.
Yeah, I don't know where we're
I
going.
don't know. I'm gonna fix this right now, though.
Jewish space laser.
Ah, yes. They do fix them. They really do.
Hey, maybe if they used the Jewish space lasers on Trump, maybe they would have done the job properly. Who knows? They
Hey,
did.
hey, hey. You should be thanking God that he's okay.
And
Yeah.
Because whether you like him or not, had that bullet hit, then this country would have fallen apart in an instant.
Oh, I know. I'm
So
happy.
be
he's alive.
grateful. However, prayers must go out for the family of the man who did get hit and lost his life.
This is true. This is true.
That's very true.
It's very sad.
It's just been so interesting to see everyone's reaction to that because
It's a litmus test.
after I saw the video of the shot, immediately I just saw videos of people being like, "You had one job! You had one job!"
Yeah, they're insane.
AKA, this is apparently what Tenacious D had a full-on mental breakdown on stage.
Yep.
Apparently, several YouTube streamers like Destiny have gone ballistic.
Yeah.
It's Trump derangement
Oh,
syndrome.
yeah.
It's a litmus test. I say that again. These are people you are learning very quickly who is insane in this nation and wishes massive bloodshed. I mean,
Oh, Bouncer, you're gonna love this one. I saw a video of a dude literally praying to John Wilkes Booth.
yeah.
He was praying, "John Wilkes Booth, if you are here today with us, please bless the bullet." I'm not kidding.
I'm not doubting.
Okay, for sake of argument, I'll doubt.
I'll pull. I'm gonna look the video right now. Give me a minute.
I feel like this is some very convoluted. They're trying to do a meme, but it's coming off in the worst effing way possible.
Well, how many of them are doing it for attention? Because they know they're going to get it.
The answer is yes.
No,
I find it interesting that some people are getting fired and stuff over being pissed that the assassin missed.
Oh yeah,
I
that's hilarious.
don't understand that line of thinking. It's, this is very disturbing. I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. You know, it's like this is societal breakdown, and it's not funny.
I think we can.
I mean, we there are things about it to laugh at for sure. True and not a shot of pressure can be hilarious in the right circumstance. But on the flip side, when you realize that broken brain is uttering words and supposed to be negotiating the direction of this nation, this scares the crap out of me. And and then when other people when political opponents are being shot at, that also scares the crap out of me. I don't wish harm on either side. In fact, pray for Joe Biden's health, because I'd like to see his brain get some clarity so he can carry it through for the rest of the term before things go wonkers
I
again.
wish they could. I pray that he can get pulled out of the elder abuse situation he's in.
Guys.
Yes,
There's always
Wrangler.
If anything should happen, there's always Camilla.
Oh,
Wrangler, hold on. Are you telling me that the
Endless
man-
potential
man-
of morbid entertainment. You're right. You're right.
Willie Brown's chew toy.
Wrangler, hold on. Are you
No,
telling
no,
me
Willie
that
Brown didn't
you
chew
do not-
anything. He was chewed on by.
okay. What were you trying to ask, Stormcrow?
Are you telling me that you do not appreciate the fact that Joe Biden managed to make peace with the true president of Ukraine, Vladimir Putin, at last?
What?
No,
He
no.
called,
you did.
He's
Zelensky
attempting humor.
That's what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
I say that Zelensky and Putin are the same people. You never
He also
see them in
called
the
Trump
same
his vice
room, do
president.
you?
Yes, he did call him his vice president.
Yeah.
This
No,
happened.
Well, just like world political WWE, they're out there talking smack at each other, and then they're just working out together in the weight room, buddies, spotting each other.
What worries me the most
Oh
is
no.
the possibility of tit for tat assassinations. That worries me.
No, please don't go that way. Reality, you got better things to do.
Yeah. I know.
Reality works by its own rules, sir. You know that. I mean, hell, I never thought we were going to see this. I thought, okay, this generation is way too lazy. We don't have the kind of spirit that guys like John Wilkes Booth had to do the things he did. And it was proven wrong. I was proven very wrong. So, but I don't know what you want me to say. It's probably going to happen again. So be ready for that, I guess.
You know what this world needs? Needs some superheroes. Tell us about Rattel.
Yeah, just what we need. Homelander.
Tell us about tell us about Rattel.
Yeah, unfortunately, we would get Homelander and Brightburn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talk
That
about the
one-
lady on the left. What's her story?
Well, see, this is Sabrina or Sabrine?
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
I like
And,
Sabrina better.
Wrangler, you're in better place to talk about her.
Oh,
because,
that's a commission for Wrangler.
that's correct. Frequency commissioned this from me.
Oh.
So she was blue lined this Saturday, and now I'm doing the pencils. So I'm doing a super tight with this one, and yeah, it's gonna look great. Gonna ink it this week, and yeah.
Actually, I'm going to do something I haven't done since you showed me anything. I'm going to put my glasses on and look at this.
Ooh, we're getting serious, folks.
Wait.
Oh, see, and all of a sudden, there's details there I couldn't see before.
Well, I'm
Wait,
just
you were blind this whole time?
And for the most part, yeah.
Not a bad splash page. Not a bad splash page.
I can maybe zoom out. By zoom out, I mean crank this.
This
up
is going to
higher.
be in my hardcover, right?
Now, Frederick, quick question. Is there a nude version of this character that you have in the background?
Well, technically, before I draw.
Have a great night, Christy. Thanks for stopping in.
Hi, Christy.
They're all nude under the clothes, Stormcrow.
Yes, but did you take the clothes off of them, please?
Thank you, animation. That's extra. You need to wire me. Send me some Bitcoin, and I'll do it.
Ultimate Kahuna says, but guys, you already have a superhero. I'm right here. Dun, 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 dun.
Get in here.
Kahuna being a
Get over
superhero,
here.
basically, is basically Captain Chaos from Cannonball Run.
You know,
Dom DeLuise,
That was
Jackie
great.
Chan's first American movie.
It was. But
You know,
what
the
about him?
if Kahuna joins, we can have like a superhero group. You know,
Would I be a superhero or would I be
the
a
ultimate
supervillain?
Kahuna.
like Justice League, but you know, with Poi and stuff.
Would I be a superhero or a supervillain, though?
Yes, you could be both.
Yeah, Crow, you'd make a great anti-hero.
Yeah.
You'd be a good Rorschach type.
You'd be like the
Yeah.
grimdark of superheroes.
Yeah. I get to, like,
Yeah.
actually kill the Joker and not bitch about it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you could kill the Joker using Batman's severed.
Yeah, and then I can, like, solve so many problems. And, like,
Joker should just be thankful that Frank Castle is in a different universe.
So I have to mention, last night, because I didn't know what I was going to do, so I'm like, okay, I have the evening off. Let me watch some anime. I've been lacking on anime for weeks now, since I've been hard at traveling and editing. I don't know if you saw the hour-long length on the most recent edition of Retracing History. That may have been overkill. Thank you. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, what should I watch? And I actually asked for suggestions, and I did write them down. But then dawned on me, why do I seem to watch what many consider the most boring of anime? Because I end up watching Bartender, The Glass of God, which I've really enjoyed. I'm 6 episodes in right now. But it boils down to a show about a bartender making drinks specially made for individuals to help them in rough situations. That's all it is. Most of the anime I watch is usually
Sounds like an alcoholic's dream.
It really is.
Wait. Are these drinks magical or are they normal?
No, they're not magical. No, it's just that he has the plot is that he's that good of a bartender that he knows what drinks to make just based on few minute interactions with the customer.
Oh dear lord.
But is it like he knows chemistry that much that
we don't
It's anime.
It's an anime. This is the part where it's an anime comes in.
Yeah, sounds riveting.
No, I'm just trying to understand how does it help it? Does the person drink the old fashioned and his marriage is resolved? How does
No, not these are like cocktails for high end. We're talking about a mixologist here when it comes to the cocktails. And every episode usually ends up with some major allegorical history behind the drink that he's serving them and why it's important to them in their time of need. It can be sappy at sometimes, but I'm really enjoying it. Again, it's a great show to watch while you're drinking a few, But I just brought it up. I'm like, why is it always on paper the dullest concept that I go to? Like when I think of Spice and Wolf, and I try to explain to people what Spice and Wolf is. I'm like, well, it's a merchant in a pseudo-feudal Europe traveling with a wolf deity, and it's about hard economics. That's what it's generally about. And
you're doing
really?
it wrong.
I'm like, it's really that fun.
Rita, you're doing it wrong. All you had to do to sell Spices and Wolves is say this. There's a cute wolf girl with a nice ass. Go watch the anime. There. Don't.
He keeps trying to peek in, and then keeps getting cut out.
He keeps wandering outside of range.
But I want to
use what Stormcrow said is a hilarious segue to introduce Kahuna, and then he disappeared.
Yeah,
the force of his personality overloads the internet.
Kahuna, do we have you this time?
Are you here? No audio.
Use hand signals.
You're on mute.
You've muted.
You're muted.
Laughing maniacally and terrifying me.
I
He's
still
still
say,
muted.
Come
Okay.
on, Boomer.
Yeah, his.
Come on. Come on, big boy. Welcome to the Self Club. Let's go.
Got it. Nope. No audio.
Is the microphone plugged
Your
in?
microphone doesn't work.
Did you try turning it off and on again?
You got nothing.
Did you install all the updates?
Hi, we can't hear you.
Have fun in therapy.
What?
Death
A
therapy.
marketable premise does not a good show make.
Who are we claiming?
I don't know, but I can't argue
It
with
was
that.
just something I wanted to bring up. I just, when it comes down to my taste, especially in anime, but also in a lot of movies, on paper, they're usually the driest stuff. It's just usually people sitting in a room and talking or something, or it's like, oh yes, this person wants to watch anime. Animation, it's limitless. What is he going to watch? He is going to watch a show about a bartender and he's going to enjoy it.
If I'm going to watch a show about bartending, I'm going to watch Cocktail.
Very
Fair
young
enough.
Tom Cruise.
I was expecting
All
you to say Cheers or something.
Ugh. Not
Well,
enough
you know,
content.
Cocktail has a great soundtrack.
Yeah, what's wrong with Cheers?
Yeah. How about Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
You got to like
Called the
the
main character Cheech Marin.
Yeah, you gotta kind of like the actors and the characters. And Cheers, the only two characters I actually cared about were Woody and Frasier. After that, and of course, a hat tip to his wife. Why am I blinking? Baby Newworth played her. Lilith. Those are the only three characters. So the whole thing centered around people I didn't give a crap about.
Oh, but come on, everybody loves Norm.
Okay, Norm's intros are funny. I'd forgotten he existed.
Norm.
Norm.
You ever see that meme that said that Cheers was a holodeck program?
No.
And you can see all these people who were part of one Star Trek main cast member or another had guest appearances in Cheers.
Well, you know that it's not that holodeck technology is not all that unfeasible.
I don't care as long as they make me beer.
In fact,
Cheers
I mean,
would
I
be
believe
a
it was the
great
ancient
holodeck.
Pataganians that had first perfected the hologram.
Yeah.
You will lie down before me, Jarrell!
Is that what it's like living in a hologram?
Maybe.
Maybe.
All I can say is the best entrance line from Norm was when he walked in and they said, "What's shaking, Norm?" And he goes, 4 cheeks and a couple of chins. That was like the most epic entrance he had.
all right. Well, look. Speaking of entrances, I have to make my departure now because I am very tired. But I'm very happy to be back here, and I'm happy to know you guys are doing okay, despite everything going down. I genuinely hope everyone here is, safe.
Well,
Yeah, it's been a wacky world lately.
yeah.
Anything you want to plug on your way out?
Yeah, I'm gonna plug Rondo here because. Do you want me to tell him, or do you want to tell him?
What are you referencing?
You want to make a TTRPG book, bro?
That is a super secret project that is under heavy development as of right now, and that is not ready for market.
They're working on it at Area 51 as we speak.
This is true. This is true. Like, I had to get security clearance. It was a whole thing.
And I happen to be the happy guinea pig that he uses for testing.
Oh,
So,
well, why didn't you say so? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that was assumed day one.
yeah, I'm being serious. Like,
Are you a crow or a guinea pig?
I'm whatever. I'm whatever. this
Stormcrow
world
being a
is.
guinea pig was assumed at day one.
No, I'm whatever the world needs me to be. Because sometimes the world doesn't need a hero. Sometimes the world needs a Stormcrow.
Does anyone know what he's going on about now, or did he finally crack?
Oh, he cracked, but that was a while ago.
Ah,
Okay, so now what are we going to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
How about we talk about your book?
Okay.
Shut up and buy it.
Yeah, shut up and buy it.
I
Leave a
payday's
review.
up for another week.
Okay, so now what are we going to talk about?
Now that we got that over with,
Let's talk about
Oh, he froze.
Stormcrow. No.
he froze.
Let's talk about Storm. What?
Actually, I had a good convention.
Oh yeah, tell us about that. How did ThunderCon go?
ThunderCon. Well, I'm glad you asked there, MD Bosher. ThunderCon went actually pretty good. Although I still have yet to get any residual sales. Sold 41 books
Nice.
in a small, and I do mean small con. And I've been handing out, and with each sale, I handed out a postcard of Bonsher's stuff too. So hopefully he might get
Thank
a few
you.
sales off of that as well.
Yes, thank you. It is appreciated. Rising tide and all that.
Yep. So, but yeah, it was a small con, but I was kind of surprised, and I think it was like the third, or I was one of 3 authors there, and I'm pretty sure I outsold the other 2.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, they're selling these big thick hardbacks, and my wife was telling me something was like for 30 some bucks or $65 for a set of 2, and it's like, I'm getting, they're sort of hemming and hawing as to whether they're going to spend like $11 or $28. So I suspect that they didn't sell a lot. So when you go to these things, it's always kind of smart to have like a cheap alternative, and then, kind of have like multiples in there.
That's why we go with our quote unquote signed ebooks.
Yeah.
And that at least I can tell people for instead of paying $20 for paperback for my Akinawazi saga, and it's $12 to $15 for my Tales from the Dream Nebula, I can say, or you can get all 6 for $30 on ebook.
Yep.
And bada bing, I get them 9 times out of 10. It seems if they're hemming and hawing over that and they really want to read, and they do read ebooks, they'll snap that up.
So the one thing I am noticing that we're having there was a lot of parents or relatives buying it for their adult, their the young, like nephews or like sons and stuff like that, and quite a few young men. So
Yes.
it was very interesting. And I'm beginning to think that there's a large segment that does not buy their books from Amazon.
Mm-mm. That's one of the things I like about Ingram Spark. You actually can bypass that whole thing.
Yep.
Get your print books on Ingram Spark or Drafted Digital, somebody that's tied into other booksellers, and say, hey, you can get this on Amazon, but if you don't like that, you can go to your local bookstore. And if you want to support your local bookstore, you can do it through there. If you sign up through, you can even do it through Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, yada, yada, yada. Hell, people can buy my books on Walmart if they want to. They'll order them.
Yeah, I can't speak. I published first through KDP and then through Ingram Spark. I tried to do Barnes and Noble as well, but I inputted all the information to start the account. It said processing, and it's been stuck processing for the last 2 years. So
I never set up anything with Barnes & Noble. It came through because I use Smashwords, which is now Drafted Digital. And they will, if you do their wide distribution, they'll put you on like 40 different sites out there as their affiliates, and that includes Barnes & Noble.
yep, you can order my stuff through Barnes and Noble because I did it through Ingram Spark.
Yep.
But I wanted to get on the Nook as well, but it's just, and I apparently didn't want it bad enough because when it froze up, I never went back. I didn't pursue it. So
it's a pain in the butt.
So yeah, it went well.
I'm very glad for you, man.
Thanks.
Did you get a chance to network with any other people there that could help you out too?
No.
It's one of those. We're here to vend, maybe to make a friend or two on the show circuit. But
Actually, the one guy who was there, he was actually right across from me. He's the one who puts up comic shows around here, and his show was the one I went to the first. it was the first con I went to this year, and I didn't do so well, so I had a chance to talk with him, and he gave me a couple of tips, but I'm not 100% sure his tips are going to fit where I think my audience is. So,
Yeah, that's a big deal too. It's sort of like we're going to Big Lick Comic Con again in Roanoke at the start of August.
Yeah.
So yeah, right after we get back from being on vacation, going up for the barbecue and then to visit my parents in Wisconsin, we're going to be back the next weekend going right to Big Lick.
Yep.
And I really hope that turns out better. We've not really broken even going to those. We haven't done terrible, but we've kind of been doing it also for exposure. But at the same time, you can only pay so long for the privilege.
True.
But through that is how I got into LibertyCon. So that was one of the biggest things going there. And we'd heard about Fantasy. No, we found Fantasy on our own, but we started learning about sort of the con circuit. Once you start doing them, it's definitely a good idea to keep trying to find out where the loop of fellow authors and agents and publishers and editors are all circling through. Where is it that you can start getting sort of the professional level of networking? Because networking is unfortunately the name of the game to really bust out. You can only do so much. You can only do so much on your own. After that, you need connections. That's what I've been learning the hard way.
So, choice advice, ladies and gentlemen. Choice advice from the con, from the con warriors.
Yes.
Yes. You make these conventions an art. We should call you con artists.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I think you better leave, Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, So online marketing. Online marketing is only going to get you so far, and unless you have really an absolutely awesome game for kind of your online social presence, which basically means you're spending most of your time being a content creator versus being an actual author or whatever you're producing.
Yes, because I've been doing that lately myself.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I made an awesome video. I just put out this is probably one of my best videos yet, so it's getting pretty cool. But the thing is, while I'm doing these videos, I'm not writing my books.
Exactly. Doing content like that drains your creative flow for producing content that you need for your content channel to exist. Yeah, it sucks. And
I got to
that's
split
right.
into two.
But then the next thing you got to look at is then the in-person events. In-person events always sell excellent as compared to online, from my experience. But then again, I have an absolutely terrible social game. So just about everything will do better. I don't know. What do you got to add to that, Herman?
No, actually, I do pretty well at the personal stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is you gotta know your market, and you gotta, that's kind of what I'm doing is I'm trying to find where I fit.
Yes.
And so, I mean, but yeah, I'm telling you, man, I sell more books directly, and I actually make more money doing this. Although I'll get to that in a second. I make more money doing this than I do trying to sell through Amazon or whatever.
Yep,
because it's very clear that you're not going to make any money through like Amazon or Barnes and Noble and all that, because in order to get people to see your book, you have to basically advertise, or you have to get somebody to signal boost you, and the odds of that happening are pretty slim. So, but
so we got to signal boost ourselves, which brings us back to I'm too busy content creating to write.
Well, even so, I mean, we take a look at how many views we get on our videos. like these fantasy videos, the Death of Fantasy videos, they're doing well, but I mean, they got like, what is it, less than 100 views? That's not going to sell me books. I mean, you get right down.
Unless you're
It kind of takes a couple of years of consistent uploading to really gain a YouTube audience. Is what it looks like to me. I mean, I've seen some people who are lightning in a bottle. Like a channel popped up, it's been around for a month. It has like 3 videos, but somehow it's got almost 100,000 subscribers. How, I don't know, but
they exist.
Big.
Huh?
Her tits are big, obviously.
No, it's just some dude talking about science. He had 3 videos and 100,000 subscribers. It existed for a month.
Yeah, he bought them. There was a farm, a click farm behind it. It's almost guaranteed. You can't organically generate that without spending.
My assumption is he had built an audience elsewhere and said, "Hey, I just made a YouTube channel." That was my guess.
Okay, that is a chance too. That is about the only possible way to do that legitimately.
That's why I don't watch your content.
Dang.
Damn.
No. Those aren't average, though.
Nope.
Have you thought about getting a boob job, Kahuna? And be careful about your info.
No.
He can't get a boob job. He can get a moob job.
So would that just include drinking more? Like,
No, we're not going down this rabbit hole. No.
You're
Don't call it a
Reed out
job
now.
for nothing.
And
It's
speaking
not
of,
a rabbit hole; it's a jackalope hole.
and speaking of having to get back on his books, I guess what I got to do. So I got a bunch of revisions I got to go through. So I
Wasn't
think
that fun?
yes. So
I'm-
I already-
Well, thank you for stopping in, Herman.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
reworking the second chapter of my next book right now too.
so all right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Before you go, can we get a nice hearty "buy my book" out of you?
Buy my book.
That's the spirit. Have a good night, Herman.
Woohoo!
Back on
Cheers.
deals.
All right, talk to you later.
And Kahuna shuffled off to Mexico for help.
Oh,
Ah, yeah.
that's where they're having the therapy session? Huh. I didn't mean
I
to go that
thought
far.
he was getting the moob job.
Yeah, it's cheaper down there.
Oh, no.
well, I mean, how else are you going to do ayahuasca?
Wow.
Pretty sure it's
Illegally,
legal in
of course.
Colorado.
Say what?
I'm pretty sure that's legal in Colorado.
That sounds like it would be accurate.
And I just wanted salvia.
I have to figure out who I have to mug, threaten, sue, or kidnap to get reviews lately. I tell you.
Oh, it's that tough
Working
out
on
there?
it.
Well, it's one of those things. I tell people, hey, leave a review if you like the book. Leave a review if you don't like the book.
I mean, that
Tell me
sounds
what I did
freaking that sounds freaking amazing. Like, I imagine the review. Like, I'm kidnapped. I'm presently like the only way I can communicate to the outside world is by leaving these
A review.
reviews. Please help. 5 stars.
5 stars.
Thank you.
Didn't they do that in what was that Marvel show? Oh crap!
Miss Marvel?
Marvel never had a TV show.
No, no,
Well, your
no.
first problem is you said Marvel. Show.
Back before it was complete and total garbage.
That would have been
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah. Didn't they do that with...
Oh.
Except
the
they were
board
talking
games.
about the soccer games to communicate when he was trapped.
Was this in the
I
last
didn't get
season?
that far. No, because I didn't get that far.
Because I missed the very last season.
I watched that.
I liked a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. A lot of it was actually quite good.
I think
Oh,
the
I
beginning
distinctly
was.
remember it because the English guy was talking about the team that I watch, because I watch English soccer. So when he got rescued and they were yelling at each other about, one guy was a Manchester United fan, the other guy was a Liverpool fan. I was like, what do you mean you said Liverpool bought their championship? This is bullcrap, dude. But anyways,
Was
I
it?
never liked Agent. I never liked Shield as a comic, and when they decided to rewrite the character so they could hire Samuel L. Jackson, I was like, yeah, I am hard out.
I actually was okay with that. I was familiar with the Ultimate Universe, and obviously when you saw Nick Fury, it's like, they just made him Sam Jackson. I even enjoyed the story behind. I don't know if the story is true or not, but the story behind it is one day Sam Jackson opened up the Ultimate Marvel Universe comic to see what it was, and saw his own face staring back at him. Called up Marvel the bitch and said, "Hey, what the hell's going on? Why are you using my likeness?" And the story that I heard, again, don't know if this is true, but the story is they deliberately drew it to look like him, and they were going to ask him if he would play the part in the movie. And he called up screaming, pissed off that they used his face without his permission, and said, "The only way I'm going to let this slide is if you let me play the character in the movie." And they're like, "You drive a hard bargain." Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's the story. Again, it's probably not how it went down, but that sounds cool. Bat Sauce, what's up, man?
We have a saucy bat.
Oh, but I used to have no problem with character swaps, especially that one because it had source material precedent. I know some people do have a problem with it, but I had no problem with Sam Jackson playing Nick Fury, just like I had no problem with Michael Clark Duncan playing Kingpin. I actually enjoyed him in that role. When they started doing it just to say we're doing it, well, that's when it got dumb.
I mean, I was willing to go along a little bit with that just because when you talk about the Kingpin, you're talking about somebody so physically powerful. There's only like 2 actors in all of Hollywood that could have done it. And at that time,
And both of them were Michael Clark Duncan at that time.
exactly, both of them were Michael Clark Duncan. So I was more than willing to let that one slide on that.
Besides, it's Michael Clark Duncan.
And he is an unbelievably good actor for the fact that he has like 0 training. Before he got,
I guess he was just made out of charisma or something. I don't know.
No, he just had that look, and he had the ability to emote properly for a movie. I mean, look at it this way: he was literally digging ditches the day he went in for his audition for Green Mile, which was his first movie and his Oscar. And you think about that, and you're like, where did this guy come from? He just had it in him, and it was right place, right time, bada bing. And he was such a humble dude that everybody really loved him.
Yeah, I got a kick out of the commercial he did. It sounded like it was going to be a clothing commercial, like something that'll wide enough to hold for your shoulders. And he's like, yeah. And then they walk around the corner. You think it's a personal shopper assistant for clothing or whatever. They walk around the corner and it's a Lincoln automobile. And Michael Clark Duncan goes, "It's just my size."
That's a good one.
Yeah, he is definitely missed on screen.
Well, yeah, he died way too soon.
Speaking of which, it was quite an unfortunate death roll over this last week. First Shelley Duvall, then Richard Simmons, and then Shannon Doherty.
And you forgot Dr. Ruth in there, too.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yep.
Dr. Ruth Westheimer died between Richard Simmons and Shannon Doherty.
Wow.
Yep.
I had no idea. But yeah, that's a lot of famous names going down in a short time. That's
What's the
what a
rule
crazy
here?
week this past week.
Yeah.
There's usually the rule of threes, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Though, honestly, that's just large number theory gone awry.
Yeah. But if you really want to kind of adhere to it, Dr. Ruth wasn't really an actor. The others were.
She was a therapist.
She was a celebrity in her own right, but
No. Yeah, she was at that.
granted, I can't say anything good or bad about her because I never listened to her work. I know nothing about her other than it was psychology related.
I listened to her a little bit. They'd have, bits of her on here and there on AM radio where I lived at the time. But generally speaking, I really didn't care enough to really follow it.
I mean, I listened to AM radio a lot before I could carry YouTube in the car with me and listen to podcasts. I listened to AM radio, mostly political talk. And then when I was working overnight and found Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, I was like, jackpot! This is fun. You know?
Yeah.
Is it garbage? Is it not? Don't know. Don't care. It's fun.
King of the woo woo land. Art Bell was king of the woo woos.
Yeah, I used to have a coworker that loved that show. So
It was taken over by George Norrie.
Yeah, George Norrie and Art Bell weren't bad.
Ian Punnett was pretty good too. And then there was one other this lady that filled in for them. She used to be like a every Friday night thing for a while, and then I think she had one show a week for a short period of time.
When I
Like
was
she was a Friday night guest, and then she hosted a show for like one day out of a week for a brief stint.
They used to when I lived in the Twin Cities, they used to have a radio show up there called The Darkness at the Edge of Town, and that one was like, I thought it was far superior to
Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I thought it was far superior because you didn't have these long gaps of nothing going on but background or of bumper music essentially, and you were never sure when Coast to Coast was going to come back on the air. Practically, it wouldn't go like 20 minutes, and then you'd get about 10 minutes of show, and then it would disappear into commercials, and then you get more music, and then maybe you get 20 minutes of show and 5 minutes of commercials.
I learned their pattern pretty well because I did overnight jobs doing security, just sitting in my car. So I got very familiar with the pattern. I thought it was pretty cool what he was doing. He crammed all his commercials into one spot. So once those were all out of the way, I mean, the hard top and bottom of the hour breaks, he couldn't do anything about that. But where he's supposed to stop between them and do a quick commercial, he just crammed them all in at the beginning so he could just talk to the guest without interruption till the next hard break.
I mean, that was good. That I don't think I'm criticizing that. It's just that I never found that pattern. And also at that time, I was a lot more into sports. So I listened to a lot of Sports Overnight America and doing the same thing when I worked at the hotel.
I tried so damn hard to make myself get into sports. My older brother, my younger brother, growing up, they were all about sports. They were collecting the baseball cards. So I started collecting the cards, but I'm just collecting. I didn't know these people, didn't care. I'm supposed to be into sports and tried to make myself. Nope, wouldn't work. Went right back to playing asteroids.
When was this Coast to Coast radio show?
No, it's still going on in some form.
Yeah, it started, I think, in the 90s with Art Bell, but then he retired. George Norrie took over. I think George Norrie's still doing the show primarily, right?
I think so.
Don't look at me. I was forced to listen to it.
Like I said, it kind of got off into the woo-woo land where I had to stop listening to it because it was just getting so out there. I was like, this isn't even fun to theorize, or they were getting like deliberately morbid with like the shaft down to hell recording sounds and this supposed
those are some freaky sounds though.
Yeah, but so much of it sounded flat out fake.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, even then, it's like that is something I would want to play in the background at a Halloween party.
Yeah, and that's not something I want to listen to at 2 a.m. working a security gig in an abandoned iron foundry, which I've done.
That sounds particularly...
I say
I
no
was literally listening to it in a place that had a reputation for being haunted. So
it is. I knew the stories about the guys that died on the job or committed suicide in one of the furnaces. Yeah, I knew about those. And then it's right next to a rail yard that was switching all night long, and one of the engines was nicknamed the Howler because it had a blown turbo on it. And it just you could literally hear that engine 10 miles away when it was hauling a freight. I was so grateful that the day they pulled it out of that yard to go get it down to the shop in Fond du Lac. But yeah,
was it a yard goat engine or?
No, it wasn't. It was a special duty. I think it was like an SD20. So it could be used as a switcher, which they did every once in a while in the yard, or otherwise they'd slap it on a local freight, and like I said, you could hear that sucker just howling
all the way across town.
Oh yeah, literally. I'm sitting there going, "Yep, okay, that's Engine 2018. I knew exactly
Okay.
which one it was. Wisconsin Central.
All right. Well, Rondo, you need to be going.
Yes.
Anything you want to plug before you take off?
I am not ready to plug yet, and oh my god, it's going to be clipped.
No, you don't have to plug anything you don't want. But I thought maybe there's something else you like that you would like to plug.
Nothing comes to mind.
Fair enough. You weren't
Doesn't
expecting
matter.
the question, so I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I just thought maybe you had something like, "Hey, this is really cool. Check it out." You know.
Oh, the only thing I've been watching is rewatching Justice League, which is a fantastic series.
Oh, the DCAU one.
Yes,
Yeah.
the GOAT. By the way, like nearly all of the animations in that are like famously not only just good but like famous. Like Batman the Animated Series is the first one in the DCAU.
Yeah, and the DCAU has been kind of more the baseline for what I think of as the DC superheroes more so than the comics at this point.
Yeah.
Just they nailed it so well.
All right. Well, it was good talking to all of you. Thank you for this
Take it easy,
respite.
man.
All right, you have a good one. Thanks for coming in.
All right. You have a good day, good night, and hopefully I'll be announcing some good news about my work situation sometime soon.
Good.
Looking
All right.
forward to it.
Later.
Interview, yeah.
Later, Tater.
And all right.
You know my tism's kicking in the moment we start talking about the one locomotive.
Yeah, I was surprised you weren't
Okay,
keeping
I've got
that.
a book for you. I've got a book for you then. Foamers by John Burson.
I've heard of that one actually.
Yep, I was given it a gift for Christmas one year, and it's actually quite a good murder mystery and sort of a thriller. But let's put it this way. It was written by a foamer. And if you're not familiar, a foamer is Amtrak slang for a rail fan that goes a little too far or is just irritating.
For the
So
people
it's a
that
groupie
are-
for trains.
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much.
they're the ones that don't understand what private property is.
They're railroad industry autists, essentially.
Now, the Wisconsin Central did have SD20s, but I don't see a 2018 listed.
I'm not sure what the actual number
okay.
was. I just sort of chucked it out. I think it was a 20 something, but the Wisconsin Central unfortunately got pretty well ended by. They went from being one of the fastest growing and most promising railroads in the United States in the 90s to toast thanks to the Weyauwega wreck, which I have an interesting connection to personally. Yes, I was working the night that I think it was that was 1995 in Weyauwega, Wisconsin. During a sub 20-degree weather night, a rail broke, and the train wiped out in downtown Weyauwega across Highway 10, cutting off the highway. And it happened right next to a
No bueno.
It happened right next to the sister plant for a company I was doing security for at the time called Presto Products. They basically make all the garbage and sandwich bags across the entire nation. They're the ones that make all your store brands. All of that comes for every different company, comes out of the same place, same design. Anyway,
Big surprise.
yeah, well, that's how it works with potato chips. You want potato chips? You go to Massillon, Ohio, and Shearer's. They make potato chips for pretty much every store in the nation. It's either that, and there's another one out in Portland of their plants. Anyway, and I used to dispatch for Schneider Trucking for picking up loads out of there. Anyway, the wreck happened in Weyauwega, right next to the Presto product plants they had there. And so at like 3:30 in the morning, I get a phone call, and it's the head of disaster. What do you call it? The disaster control.
Hazmat,
Yeah, no. It's not the first responders, but
DEP, or something like that.
Yeah, it's basically the guys that get put in charge of a disaster, handling a disaster in a area. And they called me up because one of the
FEMA?
tanks, not FEMA, it was the local government. It was like somewhere, it's kind of like the same level as the chief of police kind of thing, except they handle civic disasters.
So kind of like more DOT level.
No, it was the city of Waiawega, or the county government. My bad. Anyway, the county government called up and said, we need your MSDS charts for your Waiawega plant. And I was like, what? Turned out that in the wreck, they had 9 cars of liquefied petroleum.
And they had to evacuate the community for 2 weeks.
LNGs. Yeah, it burned for 2 weeks. We were all waiting for the bang. That's where I learned what BLEVE was. Boiling liquid evaporation, vapor explosion. And basically, when enough of the LNG burned off, it was or boiled into vapor, causing a rupture. It would become one gigantic fuel air explosion that was fully expected to detonate into the entire plant. And the plant was full of petroleum resin, so I already knew what the fire.
So it should burn pretty well. Yeah, you might want to get out of the way.
Well, the plant that I was at was in Grand Chute, Wisconsin, and they basically, I got told early on in my training that the protocol for the fire department is this. We place a perimeter, we fire the water cannons, and just try to contain the fire from spreading to every other building in the area.
Oh, in other words, spray and pray.
Yep, surround and drown. That's all they could do because they couldn't really put it out. It was all burning resins. So they were praying.
Yeah, because you don't really, the only other option you have is to remove the heat. And how do you remove the heat from all that shit?
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. The only way to remove the heat is to let it burn out, essentially, because you couldn't cool it off. It's basically the same thing. That thing was basically the same thing as an oil well fire with a timer on it. That when it finally hit the end of the timer, it exploded. So
yeah. How do you put that fire out? A grenade? No, seriously, a grenade.
Dynamite. Yeah, they were lucky though. They were able to find a way to shut off the fuel to it, and that was enough to smother the fire, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they were expecting that, and because there were like 8 other cars that were there in the blast radius, they were like, this is just going to knock out like they had to evacuate like an entire mile radius, including certain farms, which the farmers had to fight to get back in to milk their cows, or they would have lost, there would have been several thousand dead dairy cattle in that area too. It was bad. It was really bad. But that pretty much was the torpedo on the side of the Wisconsin Central, who then basically started going into receivership, and they were snatched up by the Canadian National. Yeah.
And now the Canadian National and the Kansas City Southern are together.
They did buy it?
Oh yeah, they're a conglomerate now. A railroad. It's a super conglomerate from Canada for the United States into Mexico.
Yeah, something that all the trust laws were made to prevent.
And everybody was balling. Everybody was balling in the early 20th century in the Pennsylvania Railroad. They said they had too much. Everything ran as efficiently when they had, somewhat efficiently when they had it.
It ran less inefficiently.
Let's put it that way. Yes.
Yeah. And I know all about the Penn Central's 6th biggest bankruptcy. It was the biggest bankruptcy in world history at that time, but it's now only number 6 on the list, somewhere behind Enron.
In short, what happened was in the 1960s, as the rail industry was starting to decline in the United States, 2 of the biggest rail companies, also 2 of the largest corporations in the United States of America, decided it'd be a great idea to merge together. And when they did that, they pulled the entirety of the United States rail system into a black hole of economic collapse that we're still reeling from today.
Yep. It's caused this merger craze that we still have going on. And because the government wouldn't get its freaking fat fingers out of it. And they still won't. But that's why Maine growers will not ship their potato crops by train anymore because of that merger. They lost an entire year of potato harvest in Maine because after Penn Central merged, the problem was that the New York Central and the Pennsylvania dispatching systems were not merged correctly. So anything that was on the Pennsylvania schedule wasn't put on the New York Central schedule, and neither of them crossed over to Penn Central. So they literally had thousands of potato cars sitting on sidings in Maine. And you can imagine, after one whole summer of sitting there in the heat, they made the biggest stink ever. And it put a lot of farmers out of business. They had to be bought up by conglomerates and whatnot. But the Penn Central basically was two very well-to-do companies, like in a marriage, both of them with large houses, 2 cars, and big mortgages, getting together and then trying to consolidate debt, and it did not work out, and they did not do a very good job of the merger, which caused their ultimate collapse. That's a nutshell of the Penn Central collapse. And
I
it took
really
too
need
long.
it. I need to do a
The only
video.
thing I know about trains is I saw a movie called Chattanooga Choo Choo once. But
I heard it at LibertyCon. They still run it. Tourist thing. We were on top of the hotel there, and all of a sudden I hear steam whistle, and when we're going out to the car, and I just sighed. It's like, oh, that's the sound I love. What, Redoubt? Did I surprise you with some of that?
No. Well, I was surprised I didn't know you had a tie to that particular rack. But once I can't.
It's
no.
mild.
Well, no, but still, no. I was just joking. The wreck in Wisconsin occurred in 1996. That's what I call it. Because if you have me try to say those words, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have a tongue-tied readout. This poor man can't even speak English.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way: it didn't happen in Kakana.
Oh, that's true.
That's spelled like Kauna. I say it's the only Hawaiian city in Wisconsin.
But I know everybody was, if I could do this right, the Weyawega? Weyawega. Everybody was
Weyawega.
What he said. Everybody was citing that wreck when we had the event that we don't talk about that happened in East Palestine. We don't talk that nothing happened in East Palestine in 2023.
Somebody humped the car wrong.
Animation Overload, you have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Look, we've scared Animation Overload. He's headed home.
I foamed like crazy.
You scared him with the trains?
Yes.
No, we scared him with the foam.
That does sound scarier.
It really is.
Train foam.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I keep finding myself like self-control. I keep wanting to hit the expand screen on Fredericks.
I go ahead, man.
We'll go back over. Let's see how he's doing.
I'll tell you right now, on my shelf I have a whole book on train wrecks, focusing on that. And it goes all the way back to the Angola horror.
Ooh.
Yep.
What's the Angola horror?
Let me grab the book. The Angola horror was one of the worst train wrecks to ever happen in the United States, especially for early on.
What year did this happen?
1867.
Yep. There was a period of time when train wrecks were absolutely like missing from the American scene. And a lot of that, I think, had to do with the fact that they could only move so fast. Let me see. Angola, New York disaster in 1867 shocked the entire nation in its enormity. An eastbound Lakeshore Express was derailed on a bridge that fell into a deep gorge. 42 passengers were either crushed to death or burned alive when the car's coal stoves broke apart, scattering red-hot coals about the car.
That is horrific.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was a compromise car too that hopped the rail. And that's when shortly after that, they banned, and that's when the standard gauge railroad came from. Yes, you're here for railroad chat. But yeah, shortly after that, they forced the issue with standardized the standard gauge track, because a compromise car was a track that was a car that could cross between railroad lines that had slightly different gauge tracks. And so they would have extra wide flanges on their wheels. Or extra wide
Would
wheels.
you give them too much wobble in some cases?
Right. And then it hits, of course, a broken rail was much more probable back then because of the cold, and this happened in the middle of winter.
Because that would cause some severe lateral run out of the wheel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll wear the track down easier on the wider gauge. Yep. Ashtabula disaster. Colony wreck. Yeah, this book. Here, I'll turn on my camera for a second.
And
here.
there's also one of them. The Angola Horror is one of the big what ifs of history. Because guess who was supposed to be on that train?
Who?
The rumor is that John D. Rockefeller was supposed to be on that train today, but he missed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. I forgot about that detail. But yeah, this book I found when I was a kid, and it took me 40 years practically to find it again. So I was very happy to add this to the collection. There you go. But yeah, it goes through a lot of the modern era up to the late 70s, I think only the late 70s with this book. But it's outstanding. The pictures are great. Robert C. Reed, Train Wrecks, A Pictorial History of Accidents on the Main Line. Highly recommended. If you have any interest in sort of the morbid side of railroad history.
So it's a book for readout.
It's a perfect book for readout. It ranks up there with Radigan's Shipwrecks and Rescues of the Great Lakes.
Yeah, readouts like.
Do you accept cash?
Yeah, I wish I had that much cash right now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as a foamer, okay, so here we go. Just sort of a fun thing. Readout. What's your favorite railroad?
Favorite railroad? I mean,
Yeah, do you have one?
It depends. There's several, but I would probably fall back historically on the East Broad Top Railroad. Today I don't have many options, so I got to go photograph Norfolk Southern. Those people, because they own everything around here. Well, they own CSX owns the B&O line. No, the East Broad Top. I've done several videos on it. It's a narrow gauge railroad in Pennsylvania, still in operation today. It's the only one east of the Mississippi River still in operation.
But for all these phenomenal railroads that have been built across our country, I really do want to thank all the people from
China.
Yes. China.
Or at least
All
is
their
there,
industries
by the
won.
way, I all the shows and stuff I see that show that time period, it's always folks from China who are building the railroads. Is that accurate?
Only on the West Coast.
Yeah, on the
Later
Pacific
on,
Coast, yes.
Yeah, see the Union Pacific was, and the B&O, the C&O, and the New York Central, and when they started expanding out west with the Transcontinental Railroad, all the eastern side railroads went with your typical Cornish miners and the navvies from England because they knew how to build these things. And then of course you had the Ames Oaks and the darn it, who was it? The brothers that were involved with the Union Pacific. They got General Jack Caseman on there, who started running the whole thing like an army, and he's the one that coined the term "hell on wheels." But yeah, they were mostly Irish, Cornish, Welsh, and then later on you started getting Italians and Germans.
Have a great night, Maji.
Yeah, the Chinese immigrants were predominantly working on the Central Pacific Railroad in the 1860s because that's the railroad coming from the California coast going east. The Union Pacific, which is still around today, is what was coming out of Nebraska and going west, and then those two meet at Promontory Summit in 1869.
The only railroads I can remember off the top of my head are Pennsylvania and B&O, just because they were on a monopoly board.
Well, yeah, because they were. Well, there's a reason they were on the monopoly board.
Well, yeah, I always
They
thought
owned everything.
I always thought it funny that they had Short Line and then Reading. I'm like, I always was like, what the hell is the Reading? I grew up with the Chicago and Northwestern.
Isn't that from Pennsylvania? Because I know of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yes, the Reading Railroad is.
Yep.
And isn't Reading in or just outside of Lancaster County? I'm trying to remember.
No, Reading is more like, I want to say like.
So I remember I would go to it on my way down to Lancaster, but
I don't want to call it's Anthracite region. It's at least an hour and a half from Lancaster. It's way. It's
Yeah.
more in the northeast corner.
Yeah, it's been years since I went down, but I used to make regular trips to Lancaster, and I would go through Reading to
Well,
get
no,
there.
I guess Reading
But-
would be about an hour between the two.
Yeah, because I was going to Amway conventions.
Mm.
Yep.
And I still think Amway is one of the coolest things out there. I just really sucked at doing it. It takes
Everybody does.
really good interpersonal skills, and I really lack good interpersonal skills. So, but I like the products. So.
Yeah, the products aren't bad, but yeah, what do you call that? Network marketing is not something for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the concept, the business model is fantastic. You got to be the right kind of personality to make it happen, and
Mhm.
I really wasn't it.
It's only 1% of the population, I think, that has it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have it,
And it
if you get the gift of gab and you get excited about, hey, this is a cool product, check it out. Do multi-level marketing, a legal one. Amway, I would suggest, because I'm familiar with them. But that business model is just fantastic. Again, I just didn't have the chops to pull it off. So
Mhm. Yeah, it's nominally legal. I mean, it is, but it's mostly because the laws got written for them. But anyway, yeah, you get me going.
Trains are cool.
Yeah,
I like trains.
Yeah, exactly. Trains.
I'm just over here trying not to start spouting off about Metroid again, because all I've been doing is working on Metroid videos. So it's like
I can
all
see you
that's in my
having-
brain right now is like, as much as I like Samus, all I'm seeing is Samus everywhere with what I'm working on, and off.
He's having the Samus shakes, as we call
Are you
them.
playing the new game, Regular?
What's that?
The new game that just announced. It's not. I guess it's not out yet, right?
No, that's not coming out till next year. Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've just played through Zero Mission again because I needed footage from it for something I'm working on. But yeah, the other day I was just doing yesterday I was doing the Artifact Collection Prime Remastered. And every once in a while I go, yeah, I got 2 hours to kill, pick up the controller and run through Dread real quick. Dread is the only one I'm actually good at. The others I enjoy playing. I'm not like really good at it, but Dread I can run through. I can clear that in under 2.5 hours without using any glitches. So I'm not a speed runner on the level of, the pros who are breaking records or anything like that. And some of those glitches take a lot of practice to learn to use. I cannot do that. It's really cool to watch, but I can't do it. But a speed run in the sense of, I think the game standard is it 4 or 3 hours or under? I think it's under 4 hours for best ending, but I do it in like under 2.5. I mean, I follow the intended path right up till Kraid. Then after that, I start sequence breaking the hell out of the game.
I couldn't tell you because I don't know a thing about it. I mean, Metroid is one of those things I've heard of, and I know that a lot of guys definitely go simp over the main character, but that's about it.
I don't see why. The main character is really cool. I mean, Samus is a great character, but simp for her, I don't see why. She's like, I still say she's the most overpowered character in all of fiction, but and I don't know if that was ever truly intended or not. But somebody dug up, like, every time something happens, she gets like a 5-time multiplier to her abilities, and somebody went through the entire canon and added up every boost, added all together. And in Metroid Prime Hunters, I think was her first universal level feat, and then got multipliers from there. And it was like the final number was like quintillions of universes powerful or something like that. It was crazy. But then there are things that it looks like, okay, that's not intended, but then they do things that make you think, okay, are they really acknowledging that is their power levels? Like, Samus hopped in her ship, which was capable of going to another galaxy in about 10-minute flight.
Mm-hmm.
Ridley, her arch nemesis, beat her there. He can fly in space without a ship. Just he flew on his own. So how fast is he going? And so they can go at like these immeasurable speeds, and then they fight each other in combat. So it's like, so technically this 15-minute battle I just did against Ridley and Metroid Prime, you know, in universe is taking place like at flash level speed. So probably just like seconds this fight happened in their real time. So it's just, it gets so incalculable how high up the power levels go that is insane. I don't think I'm ever going to do like versus battles with characters on that level because I don't know how to keep track of that. There's different levels that the versus community has, like there's multiversal, outerversal, and then other, I don't know what all the terms are, but it gets so freaking insane. And that's how far they've taken it with Marvel and DC that it's reached a point it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. You know? That's why I want to try and, when I'm writing, I want to keep my characters from going too bonkers with the power creep. Because you reach certain points, it's like, what are we doing? Seriously, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Punches that can break reality. It's like, again.
Well, I'm getting paged from the missus, so I'm gonna have to take off here. She's
alrighty.
And,
all right. Well, thanks for coming on. You have a good night, and give us a good parting plug on your way out.
all right, good parting plug. You can find me at www.resonantmedia.art. I am also on Facebook under MD Boncher and Instagram under the same name. You can also find Resonant Media Art there, all nice and interconnected. We also have a Substack, so find that Resonant Point there on the Substack as well. You can find my music on Bandcamp under Resonant One, and of course I have 2 book series out: Akinowazi Saga, Dark Epic Fantasy, and Tales from the Dream Nebula, High Flying Pulp Punk Adventure, which you can find on Amazon, Smashwords. We even sell it directly through my own website or any bookstore that is connected with the Ingram Spark system, from Walmart to Books A Million. So find them. You can find me everywhere.
Also, and I also like that you just reminded me I'm not the only person that sometimes still says www.
They still require it sometimes, so.
Guilty! What's up, man?
All right. La con Dios, all.
Have a good night, MD. Thanks for coming in.
Yep. Bye-bye.
And then there were 4.
The www also serves as a, hey, heads up, I'm about to give you the web address.
Like a warning signal.
Now, I don't do that, Joe. I just straight up say imakecomics.com.
Yeah. But having grown up with the internet coming out, and at the time, www was very common to say. And there was also a time when we flip over our phone and when we were checking the signal, go, how many bars do I have? I don't hear anyone say that anymore either.
No, not really. Usually you get signal everywhere now, except when you head out into the mountains sometimes.
Yeah, but everybody used to call the signal meter bars. How many bars do you have? Can you make a call from here?
Yeah, because that's how they used to display it on their. I don't know if you could call it a phone, but it was a phone, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little flip phone, if that.
The phone thing, you actually used the phone, and now what we call a phone, we don't.
From Singular. Used to have a place called the Carphone Store, and they eventually changed the name to Wireless Zone because Carphone became an outdated term.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Car phone, man. You have to be rich to have a car phone. That's a phone that's installed in your car.
Yep.
Dedicated number. So basically it was a satellite phone.
Oh, they were expensive as hell.
Oh yeah, you had to be like a CEO of a company and required to answer questions while in the traffic for some reason, you know.
Yeah. And now Now what do we do with these fantastic devices? Look at TikTok. Yay.
I mean, it is what you make of it, but we got a lot of technology now.
Yeah, it's like, what do they do with this advanced technology? They do songs and dances on TikTok.
Wow.
Kind of remind me when Garham was doing beta reading for me. He pointed out, I think it was Garham, maybe it was you, King Bob. I think this was Garham. Pointed out, your main character has an ultra advanced nanotech suit, and she uses it to play Tetris. That's Haley. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, that's right. You posted on that thing that you're jealous of it. It's like, yeah, me too.
That was me, yeah. Although I'd probably play something like Contra.
Ooh, I haven't played Contra in forever.
Wasn't there a huge thing about installing Doom on everything as well? Like you could.
Oh, that's my world, man. Go to the Linux forums in Reddit, and yeah, it's all about. Can we put Doom on this and make it work? Let's do it.
Like birth control, birth test, like pregnancy tests. They've installed Doom on it. Like, stupid crazy.
Bob, I bet you could see it now. Haley and Elizabeth playing Doom with their PJs. They would conjure the helmets and get the world map showing in their visor, and they're just running around the potato field.
Oh, absolutely, because you know they're going to mod the crap out of that game. No clip.
Oh, Haley in her teenage years, definitely. She's. I bet you she'd be into modding games. Don't think Elizabeth would care too much about other than, yeah, just load it up so we can blast them.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm gonna take one last peek over Frederick's shoulder here.
Yeah, here we go. It's coming along nice. Making some cleaning up the blue line with pencils, making it look nice and tight. And then when it's done, I'm gonna hit some ink to that. So maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Nice. She's pretty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's about that time we can start doing wrap up. So, King Bob, what would you like to plug?
Well, I guess I should plug my website, even though I haven't touched it in forever. But yeah, you can go to my website, and I have the 4 cornerstones that I think you need to have a good society, and not only a good society, a good individual, healthy person. So check that out. There's book reviews on there. There's a store on there, although the store's not that great. That's something else I want to work on. So yeah, that is still up. That's the old website. I'm still working on the new one.
So you still are going to be doing a transfer? This is going to switch over to another place?
Oh yeah. Well, it's not going to be another place. Like,
I mean, another website or...
Right. Well, no. I bought the domain name, and so all that stuff's going to stay. Well, buy the domain name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so one day we're going to log into this and see a completely different setup.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So the web address stays the same then.
Yeah.
4ffoundation.com.
Yep. As soon as I learn how to program, much better than I do already.
Yeah, I'm lost when it comes to that. But then again, a year ago, I would have never thought I'd be editing videos the way I am. So who knows what we could learn unexpectedly.
Yep. Oh, and there's still the open invite for anybody that would like to write an article on my Substack. Just let me know.
All right. Read out.
Well, I'm going to show a particular video this week. This Saturday, we premiered the 75th episode of Retracing History on this special edition that ran for over an hour because I lost the plot with the runtime, and I'm like, well, I'm at 45 minutes. Let's just go all in. You're going to get to learn about the Union defeat that saved Washington, D.C. during the American Civil War. Everybody knows about when the Confederacy tried to invade the Union states in 1862 and 1863, especially with their defeat at Gettysburg. Few people know that there was a third invasion of the North in 1864, and this one actually got to the gates of Washington, D.C. But with the timely arrival of some Union reinforcements along the Monocacy River, there was a day-long battle that they knew they were going to lose, but it bought other soldiers precious time to rush into DC's defenses, which prevented the Confederacy from attacking it full on. So it's an hour-long video. It's a lot, I'm not going to deny, but there's a lot of interesting stories that I got to tell on the actual Stork site, so be sure to check that out.
All right, Frederick.
imakecomics.com is the website. You can come. I updated it last week, so it's pretty much up to date. Got 4 sample pages of the upcoming comic book Rattel #1. So you got those are the covers. Then you got inks for 4 pages, and you can see them in pencils as well. I'm going to be putting up the flats of the color process this week, and hopefully finish the color process within a week.
Nice.
Hopefully, cross my fingers. And I've also got an art stream on YouTube tomorrow at 8. So if you want to join me with co-host Billy Bob, and sometimes Lord Otter chimes in, and we'll be continuing this piece of artwork, and maybe looking at an old movie I did.
Oh, sweet.
12 years ago. So yeah, join us.
All right. And you can find my stuff on Amazon or pretty much order it through wherever. Haley Star, Bad Kitty, and the follow-up Bad Kitty, Haley's World. Where's that button? It's there it is. Trying to hit that. There we go. Both right there. Check them out. They're a real good time. It's a nice break up from the monotony of the same old. And this crazy world, forget it. It's bonkers. Go check out Haley's World instead. It's a good time. Trust me.
Somehow it makes more sense.
It does. It does. Just ask me. I'll tell you. Does that work for sales? Just ask me. I'll tell you. No, but those are the books right there. Check them out. Have some fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching on panel, in chat, or even if you were just lurking. It was great having you here. We always have a good time here on every Monday night we do this. Also, check out Comic Shop Wednesdays over on Not a Drink with Crazy, but ADWC Replay. He's doing that on now, right?
Except not this Wednesday, because he ain't having one this Wednesday.
Right. Oh, that's right. He's got computer issues, I think.
No, because isn't the BBQ later this week?
Oh, perhaps. I don't know.
I know he's traveling this week. He said he ain't have one this week. I know he's traveling the first half of this week, so I think that's not why. Hopefully, I'm not giving out.
Are they having an Iron Age Nights?
Well, we hope. But also, he said he got his computer back, so
he did get his computer back and running.
Sweet.
But I think he's doing he has a business trip or something like the first half of the week.
Yeah.
I remember that distinctly last week.
Real life is getting in the way again.
Yep.
Hate it when that happens.
But any other Wednesday, yes, tune in.
Yep, and Fridays for Iron Age Nights over on his ADWC Replay channel. And I think he puts up about a video a week on his regular channel.
He strives to.
Yeah.
He said he was going to
when his computer's working. But actually, I shouldn't laugh about that because mine's just about half a step away from being kaput itself. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
Good night, everybody.
Cheerio.